Another one of Clark and Mayer's principles for designing e-learning is the modality principle. Clark and Mayer give us many ideas, background, and research about the modality principle. In general, they are not suggesting that you throw printed text out the door when you develop e-learning. Rather, they recommend you apply the principle in ways that are consistent with the way the human mind works. Perhaps when your material is complex or presented at a rapid and continuous pace, you might want to consider using the modality principle for your e-learning development. Here's the rationale for the principle. Mayer suggests that when we have printed words and pictures, there's emphasis on the use of the eyes and sensory memory and visual processing and working memory shown here in figure 6.5 from the text. If the modality principle is applied and spoken words are used instead of printed words, Mayer suggests that there's balance of both types of senses being used in sensory memory and processing and working memory as shown in figure 6.6. Applying this principle may be especially useful in these sorts of cases. Simply using narration to explain graphics can be useful. When the material is complex or fast-paced learning, use of narration may be of benefit to the learner. Additionally, if the verbal information is familiar or short, the learner may find benefit of narration rather than printed words. Clark and Mayer suggest that the audio narration should be brief. It's important to note that the decision to employ the modality principle should be based on the content rather than on the learner's preference for learning style. Again, if the learning is complex, fast-paced, or brief. Clark and Mayer suggest that there may be limitations in applying the modality principle. It may be difficult to create the narration, or technical limitations, or cost expense on the part of the learner may get in the way. There may be also times when the complexity of the content might necessitate the need to keep some of the printed words for the learner's memory retention. In those cases, it may be advisable to put some of the labels and key terms in the instruction along with the graphics and narration. An example of such is shown here, where the instructor adds the key terms only to the graphic. So there you have a short description and overview of the modality principle.
Hey there, my name is Ronald. Thank you for watching. Today, we will explore an educational principle that we should keep in mind when developing e-learning instruction. That is the principle of redundancy. The principle states that people learn more deeply from multimedia lessons when graphics are explained by audio narration alone rather than audio narration of on-screen text. Let's take a look at an example that should demonstrate what I mean. Here's a bad example.
The steps do not always fall in the same order. For instance, evaluation may take place after any phase of the model. This flexibility balances the systematic linear approach.
When the narrator reads the on-screen text, the redundancy principle is violated. It would be better to get rid of the on-screen text like this. Then use audio narration to describe the graphic. However, there are two exceptions to this rule. One is that the students are not native speakers of the course language. The other one is when there are no visuals on the screen. Well, in just a few short minutes, you've learned the educational principle that should help you design more effective instruction. Tune in next week when we tackle the modality principle. Thanks for watching.